Zimbabweans are voluntarily already going back home. The biggest number of returnees, for your own information, as a population group is whites. There were so many Zimbabwean whites who came in from 1970s, gapping the war of Ian Smith, and those who gapped the independence to South Africa. There's massive construction in the affluent suburbs by the returning whites from South Africa. That is not talked about. Those are voluntary returnees, and they are investing back home.
Why do they behave like that?
I think, in a sense, we're afraid to tell the truth. The truth is too, this phrase that Foster used, too ghastly to contemplate. The change that happened with the ANC leadership in 2007 was real change. It put in place in the leadership of the ANC people who were not ANC. Were afraid to tell that truth. You have this ANC led by people who are wearing ANC t-shirts, but they are not ANC. The way it happened was because there was a very, very systematic program on the part of the apartheid regime in its own defense to infiltrate the ANC and the rest of the liberation movement. Very, very heavy infiltration. Yeah. As the ANC, we had all of the machineries. Let's check everybody who's joining and that was done. And some people were found and said, no, you can't belong among us. But there are many people who missed out. And some of them became part of the national leadership of the ANC in 2007. I'm talking about agents of the old regime. We're afraid to tell that truth. So this person who was wearing an ANC t-shirt, who was carrying a big ANC title, is not ANC. There's a person who was infiltrated by the old order into the ANC, but now occupies a senior position in the ANC. And what's their task? The task is to repeat what their handler tells them to repeat. So you and I get surprised. It would be very, very logical, it's obvious, for the current ANC leadership to say, this is how well we did. Until somebody else intervenes to negate what we're doing. So the population will say, now we understand why things have gone wrong. We've been blaming you all the time. That's you and I think that would be the logical thing to do. But it doesn't happen. How do you explain it? I'm saying the way to explain it is if we lose this fear of telling the truth, to say the people who are not behaving logically, who are not saying, I did a good thing yesterday, and I would have done a good thing today, except that somebody else intervened to sabotage. He doesn't say that, and allows the blame to fall on himself. Or you are responsible for all of these bad things. Instead of saying, no, I'm not. They don't. And the reason they don't is because they belong among the bad people. Maybe that's the truth, you see. Yes. I'm saying it's difficult to say it. When we talk about counter-revolution, that, you know, from day one, from 1994, there are people from the old order who said, the ANC thinks it has won a war. It hasn't. In 1994. The ANC has won a battle. But we will win the war. And they intervened to make sure that they win the war. That's where we are today. The negatives that you see, as you say, that you have a certain period, first 15 years of our democracy, was very positive. And the next 15 years, the opposite direction. Why? Why the sudden change? It's because the people were saying, the ANC thinks it has won the war, it hasn't. We will win the war. That's the result of that. To put in place your own people and put in place your own programs to make sure that this ANC which they fought for 100 years fails. And they are working together with their own people whom they had infiltrated into the ANC, who are now sitting in senior positions in the ANC. And you see it every day. You see it every day. You see, for instance, what's happened to the initiative for a national dialogue. Some people intervene to derail it because they don't want national dialogue to take place. Why? Who is this person who calls themselves progressive and doesn't want the ordinary people of South Africa to get together to say, we the people want South Africa to go this way? No, they don't want that. Who is this person? I'm saying it's a manifestation of the truth that
who go against the Constitution and people's rights. You know, you are known for that. So you commented on the events that are unfolding in Zimbabwe, whereby we see the current president and his administration, you know, amending the Constitution so that he stays in power, you know, 2 more years. Let's talk about that.
On this continent, when there are those leaders who would adapt bad practices out of purely self-interest, that one would hope that it would maybe go through a phase and then it would be over. There would be criticism, and those who are coming in would later on realize that no, this actually is not what we should be doing, and not perpetuate the
Zimbabwe political scene day really hot right now. And today make we run through everything together in one sweet gist. Before we start, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because plenty gist day come after this one. So the whole story day center around one bill, way dem day, called CAB3, Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. This bill done already passed through the National Assembly with 216 votes to 42, and done passed the Senate too, 75 votes to 4. So the only thing remaining now for President Emmerson Mnangagwa to sign them into law, and people they expect say go happen before end of this month. Now make I break down what in CAB3 they do, because now this bill be the root of everything. CAB3 go extend the president's term from 5 years to 7 years. Go stretch the life of parliament all the way to 2030. But the biggest change be say CAB3 go completely remove direct presidential elections. Instead of ordinary Zimbabweans they vote for their president like before. Now parliament go. Now they the one way go. Choose the president going forward. That one na huge change, because say normal citizens they lose the power to directly choose who led them. Government say this longer terms go bring stability and reduce how often and how expensive elections be. But critics say na just a smart way to hold on to power longer than the Constitution originally allow. Make sure you don't hit that subscribe button, because we still get plenty gist to gist. Now make we talk about lan Khama, former president of Botswana, and this man no day fear to talk true. He come out publicly to blast Mnangagwa over this CAB3 matter. Talk, say another power-hungry president. They use rigging and money inducements just to extend I am time for office. Go further to compare Zimbabwe to countries like Cameroon, Uganda, and Rwanda, where leaders don't spend decades and decades for power, and say Zimbabwe don't now join that same list. Khama's words carry extra weight because this man himself waka komot from power voluntarily back in 2018 after finish. I am 2 constitutional terms in Botswana. So when Ede talk about leaders, way no one let go power, people they listen well. Zimbabwe's government no agree take that quiet. Government spokesperson come out immediately and call Khama a washed up has-been and ask why anybody suppose care about the opinion of one man way just day chase relevance. So now, this thing don't turn into one big public back and forth between two well-known names for the region. If you enjoy this, just make you like the video now and subscribe if you never do so. We still get the military side of the story where go blow your mind. Because remember, Mnangagwa himself come to power for 2017 through a military-assisted transition way remove former President Robert Mugabe. So the military na part of the very foundation way bring him to power. That's why Wetin Day happen inside the military. Now they carry serious weight. Under the current constitution, the defense forces get a clear duty to protect the constitution itself. But CAB3 contain a clause where go remove that duty completely. People they read this as Mnangagwa trying to protect himself from any future military action, the kind way remove Mugabe before. And true reports don't come out, say pamphlets day circulate inside military barracks in Harare, carrying messages of anger from ordinary soldiers who feel, say them day neglected while top elites day enrich themselves. Multiple soldiers don't reportedly been arrested over this matter. On top of that, a group of retired generals and former senior civil servants, led by a retired air marshal, don't publicly come out to challenge Mnangagwa. Them accuse AM of being the main person driving and benefiting from CAB3. Them say when them raise their concerns with AM directly, E reportedly brushed them aside, telling them whoever wins, wins. A response. Way them say show serious disregard for the worries of ordinary citizens and even members of I Am own party. Them also allege, say a huge sum of money, around 31 million US dollars, Donde used to influence lawmakers to support the bill. And that's not all there. They talk of quiet tension between Mnangagwa and I Am own Vice President Constantino Chiwenga. These two men worked hand in hand back in 2017 to remove Mugabe, but analysts say a rivalry donde simmer since then, with some believing, say CAB3's, changes to how future presidents get elected fit be a strategic move to weaken Chiwenga's own path to the presidency. So for now, Zimbabwe Day sit at a very tense crossroads. A controversial bill way done almost complete, a former African president publicly calling out the government, and cracks showing up inside the very military establishment way brought the current leadership to power in the first place.